welcome. I'm Jeff Canassis. I'm teaching Math 146 here at Norwalk Community College. Of course, we're not really at the college, but we're going to run it pretty much the same way as I would. We're going to have videos to demonstrate what would happen in each class, and we're going to have at least weekly meetings between me and each student. I'll get into that before we're done. This is covering the syllabus and how things will work. I'm Jeff Canassis. I went to middle school in Middlebury, Connecticut, then I went to Holy Cross High School in Waterbury, onward to Carnegie Mellon, where I got a bachelor's degree in applied math operations research, which has a lot to do with the way I teach algebra and why I teach this course here. And then I went on to get a degree from Sacred Heart in teaching and a degree in computers and education from Fairfield U. Let's see. My career has seen me teach at Fairfield High School back when Roger Ludlow closed for a year in 1986 before the full merging of the high schools. I was there for that year. They closed that, so I found another job in New Milford where they had started a special program for at-risk students, and they ran that for 1 year and closed the program. So again, I was out, and then I spent 5 years teaching math at Cheshire High before moving on to Franklin and Marshall College, where I worked in the computing center for 4 years, and then moved back to Connecticut late in the 90s. Started working at Norwalk Community College, Naugatuck Valley Community College, and at Western Connecticut State University, and I've been here for a while now. Let's see, I want to get into our contract of how the class is going to work. The contract is our syllabus, and this pretty much covers the syllabus, and it's good to go over it because I go over it every class as it starts with my class. Excuse me for a minute. It's important that we know how the class is going to run from the first day so it runs smoothly for the rest of the days. Our class is running on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Your class might run from 10 to 11:20 in the morning, or from 11:30 in the morning to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon in an L-RON fashion, which is live, remote, online. To many students and teachers, that means that the class will be taught remotely. You'll tune into the class and watch me teach it live, and that's how you'll get your experience, and we'll do Zoom. No, that's not happening. The way L-RON is designed is that you're supposed to be live during your class, getting stuff done. What I'm going to be getting done is having individual meetings with students, whether I'm helping them get over stuff or just keeping in touch with how they're proceeding successfully through the class each week. So I will be online during our class time. Some class, as I said, Tuesday and Thursdays from 10 to 11:20, and others from 11:30 to 12:50. You'll have an assigned 10-minute window every week when you're to connect with me. You can use Zoom if you want to. The academic dean and the dean of students have agreed that we can use Zoom if you want to. Zoom works on older machines and is a little easier to get into and all that. The college doesn't love it, but you're allowed to use Zoom. So I'll have a Zoom address for that. And we also have WebEx, which is what the college pays for. It's a little more private and more secure. If you can use WebEx, you should use WebEx. But if we need to use Zoom, we can do that. We'll meet 10 minutes per week, at least once per week. We may meet for more than that if you're having any difficulty with the class. You're supposed to watch the lectures during our class time, but I also allow for you to watch it before our class time. Notice I did not say after our class time, so if you want to watch it early, that's okay. If you want to watch it during our class, that's perfectly fine. That's what would happen if we were on campus. Late, no good. When we meet each week, we'll talk about how far you've proceeded through the lectures that you've been looking at, the homeworks, quizzes, and stuff like that. We'll see how you're doing. If all's going great, we might be on for just a couple minutes, and I'll say, how's it going? You'll say, it's looking good. I'll look at your stuff online. I'll say, it looks good from here too. Any problems, questions? You'll say no. I'll say, see you next week. However, some people will have difficulties with stuff in the class, and in those cases, we will probably not solve it in your 10 minutes, but set up another time later that week for you and I to sit down online and do tutoring right through the problems that you had. You can see the need to have watched the videos and attempted the work before we get together. You can't just say, oh, I'll connect with him on a Tuesday and set something up for Thursday, and I'll figure it all out then. The other thing is quizzes will be due on Sunday nights. If you're late with them, then, or maybe Monday nights. I forget which we have here. Let's see. Quizzes are due 14th. Monday nights. Quizzes will be due on Monday nights. But you should do them as soon as you're eligible to do them, because you could easily forget to do them on a Monday night and you'll get a 0 if you forget to do them. As soon as you can get access to a quiz, you should do it. Quizzes will require completion of the homeworks and a certain level of proficiency to get access to those. So even if we talk on Thursday to get you all connected and then you get it worked out, you'll have until Monday to finish the homework, but the best thing to do is do the homework, and if a quiz pops up, do the quiz. If it's going smoothly, that'll work great. As soon as the quiz and homeworks are done for that week, you're done for the week, no problem. But if you run into any difficulties, that's when you get in touch with me. That's when you do extra work, and then you complete it later in the week and get it done by Monday. That's why quizzes are due on Mondays instead of, let's say, Thursday nights or something like that. So there's a description on our syllabus, which you'll be able to read, that tells you what we're supposed to be able to do. I get you through all that stuff. I'm going to go through how things work. You expect to view the videos, as I said, before class time or during class time. You have a 10-minute required weekly meeting with me, online, WebEx, or Zoom. If you don't connect me for a week, then you're marked absent for that week. If we book an appointment later in the week for you to learn stuff with me through tutoring, you need to show up for that appointment. Even if you figured it out, just show up, or even send me an email and say, I got it, look at my notes, look at the stuff online, I'm good now. Then we can cancel your appointment. But if you don't cancel your appointment and don't show up for your appointment, then you're again marked absent for that week. So signing up for a tutoring session requires some responsibility. You either have to get the work done and cancel it, or show up for the tutoring session so you're not marked absent. Students are allowed to be absent for up to 20% of the time in the course. With 15 weeks, that allows you to miss up to 3 weeks. You can get absences on up to 3 weeks, still pass the course. If you have 4 or more absences, no matter what your average is, because you couldn't even come in for 10 minutes for that week, you're going to get marked absent and you're going to fail the course. You will not get credit for the course if you have too many absences. So if you exceed 3 absent weeks, you should not expect to pass the course. Let's see. If you miss your appointment, you can contact me through email. You can also jump in on Zoom or WebEx. Anytime I'm online, you might find me there. If I'm with someone else, I may put you in the waiting room and get back to you as soon as I can. But then if you're in the waiting room, you might want to send me an email instead. But you might show up and there's no one that I'm working with right then. We'll get that resolved right then and there. Think of WebEx as like coming to my office. If I'm already in there with someone, I'm probably going to finish with them before I turn to you and say, what's up? But if no one's there, you walk right in, we resolve your problem, you walk right out. So we're going to treat that like you're coming to my office. Now you get promised individual tutoring opportunities every week from me. You may not need them, so you don't have to bother yourself with setting that up because it's going great. But if there's any problems, we set it up. We have those times where I'm going to be available to work with you on that. Let's see. So I went through attendance and the 20%. Practicing what we work on. Students are expected to attend each class on time. Expect to isolate yourselves during class time and get as much possible focus as you can. I don't know what this is going to look like, for example, in the fall of 2020, but if it's going to be crazy in your house with kids who are home from school, right, for more possibly at-home lessons, then I'd ask that you try and find a way to get the lessons done sometime when you can, which is nice because they show up on Monday morning. First class is Tuesday, so you could do Monday night and Wednesday night after the kids are in bed, whatever is necessary, but have it done before our class meets, so that when we get our meeting together, you're up to date or you know what you lack, and we will schedule getting you through that stuff. Your commitment for each class is met once you've viewed the videos and understand how to handle the work that's covered in it. Slow down the videos, speed them up, watch them again. Whatever you want to get yourself in a position to properly handle the homework, quizzes, and stuff that's coming. If you can do that without any extra help from me, you're just going to sit with me for 2 or 3 minutes online, and we're going to touch base and make sure that you're making the progress that you need to make. And if you are, that's as much interaction as we'll need. But still, 12 to 15 meetings with me will be the value that you get out of this course besides access to the content and grading. Students are expected to complete each homework assignment by the time our next class meets. In order to keep this stuff flowing well, the homework is due by the start of the next class. So homework assigned on Tuesday is going to be due by the start of the Thursday class. Homework assigned on Thursday should definitely be done by the time we get back on Tuesday. That's about homeworks, but for lessons, they're to be completed by the end of your class time each week. That's when you're watching your videos. Quizzes will show up at times, and they require certain proficiency on the homework. And if you're not caught up on the homework, you need to get caught up to get to the quizzes. If you don't finish the quiz by the time it's due, you will get a 0 on that quiz. And I will not reopen the quiz, so don't tell me, oh, I got called into work. I was going to do the quiz Monday night, but I got called into work. You at least had it since the previous Monday. So you had a whole week. If you wait till the last minute and get called into work, I'm not going to say, oh, I get it, let me fix that for you. I'm going to give you the 0, because you're not supposed to wait till the last minute on it. You're supposed to do it ahead of time so that if you have troubles, you can ask me about the problems. And if you know how to do it, you get it done early. But you may wait till the last minute and do it, and if you get it done successfully, there's no penalty on that. Homeworks can be done past their due dates. Quizzes cannot. So if you miss a homework and it causes you not to get to a quiz, and then you get a 0 on a quiz, you get to keep that 0. Quizzes are making up 16% of your grade. There are going to be 8 quizzes that count. There are going to be 10 quizzes that are offered, so your top 8 will count. You need to do your homeworks on time so you can get to your quizzes on time. If you set your own schedule by pushing stuff off and the quizzes don't work out, you're going to keep those 0s. Recognize I'm going to keep your top 8 quizzes. I will always count the last 2 quizzes no matter what, because sometimes people would slough off at the end of the term, not learn the last material, then bomb that test and that final. All of a sudden an A becomes a D. Not having that. The last 2 quizzes are required, but we do have an opportunity for you to make up some quizzes. When you miss a quiz or you don't like your score, there will be coming a time toward the end where you'll be able to have quizzes opened up for you if you didn't miss too many of them. If you miss a whole bunch of quizzes, you're going to keep all the 0s. If you miss a couple quizzes because of those things like you got called into work or whatever, you might be able to make it up with what we call quiz amnesty. There are 10 quizzes, 8 of them will count. You must count the last 2, and of the first 8, 6 will count. And I will drop your 2 lowest of the first 8. Academic integrity, expect exams to be online and timed and during an expected time period. You can use scrap paper, a calculator, on up to a TI-80 something to do the work, and you're allowed 1 3x5 note card on every exam. Let me repeat that. 1 3x5 note card is totally acceptable. Both sides can be written on, with formulas, ideas, or whatever helps you do well on the exam. So as you're preparing for the exam, you're preparing that note card, and that's all part of your learning the knowledge. I don't expect you to memorize all the formulas. I expect you to have a note card and know how to work through the content that we have there. What will you need to come to our class? You should have a pen or pencil and a notebook to write in, because maybe you want to take notes. You might want to watch the video a few times, maybe speed it up, slow it down, watch it again, as you're taking your notes to develop your own skills on how to do the content of this work. There will be homework videos as well as videos of demonstrating what's going on in each lesson. You need to have full access to Connect Math. Connect Math is essential and no other options to get through this class. That's where your homework, your quizzes, your reviews, all the stuff, including the final exam, will occur through Connect Math, so you have to do that. The first 2 weeks can be free when the semester starts. Gives you 2 weeks to get paid access or to get financial aid to pay for full access, but you do need full access to that. To contact your instructor, that'd be me, you need to contact Jay Kanoss. It's in big bold letters, it'll be there. You can reach me through Connect Math as email, or jkanoss@norwalk.edu, and send me email. I check this every Monday through Thursday, at least at the start and end of my workday. Maybe on Fridays, doubtful on Saturdays, maybe on Sundays, but you're looking at Monday through Thursday. I'm checking email. I'm not here hanging out at my computer waiting for you to email me a question on a Saturday afternoon. No, thank you. So you can contact me anytime during an Elron session. For you guys, for sure, that's between 10 and 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can try other times. Those sites, I'll be on them, tutoring people, waiting for people, stuff like that. Even Mondays and Wednesdays, I have other classes where I'm in those Elron session rooms. You can maybe contact me there and make a quick contact with me, just like you might walk up to my class, up to my office and knock on the door and ask me a question. The good news is I'll have many more hours than I normally do in my office, because while I'm waiting for Elron classroom stuff, I'm still available to the rest of you. Okay. As far as withdrawing from the class, you have the first 2 weeks where you're allowed to withdraw and get a drop. It's like the class never happened for you. Then you get to withdraw up until November 16th. Then you'll get a W, and after that, you're stuck with the F that you'd get by not attending anymore and taking the final and all that, unless you can get the academic dean to sign off and get you an excused W. So you have 2 opportunities to get out. One is early, to get out with a drop, late with a withdrawal, but very late, you're in the class to the end. If you just stop attending and you're like, I'm done with this class, I'm not going anymore, it will be an F, because the zeros will go in, you'll stay on the roster, and you'll get the F. So if you do withdraw, I recommend two things. Number one, ask me about it. Sometimes people think they should withdraw. I talk with them and they decide to stay. I've had people do that and get an A. They thought they were dead. And I said, look at what's still available for you. You got time to get this done, that done, and do a retake. And then let's see where you are when we get closer to November 14th. And they stuck around and it worked out fine. That can happen. The other thing is financial aid. If you are on financial aid, don't just withdraw from the course. Whether you talk to me about it or not, you should talk to financial aid before you withdraw. They may say get out before this date, it's better for your financial aid, or stay past this date and then withdraw. I don't know all the details, so I'm not going to tell you the details, but I'll tell you, if you're going to withdraw from the course and you're on financial aid, talk to them. They won't try and necessarily say, oh, you got to get in that class and you got to get an A. No, but they need to know what's going on so they can help you make the best decision to preserve the best status for financial aid. Quiz Amnesty, as I said, if you take at least 6 of our first 8 quizzes on schedule, you'll be allowed to redo all of the first 8 quizzes and get those scores up to 100. Every quiz, it's the last attempt that counts, not the best, the last. I want every attempt that you take at the quiz, to be a serious attempt to demonstrate mastery of the content. I don't want you trying it 20 times and hoping to get 70 without learning anything. So the last attempt counts. If you have an 85, you got to decide, is it worth it for me to try and get better than 85? I might drop and I got to do more work, or should I keep the 85? If you got a 30 when you took it, but you got in under the wire, you can take it later in the semester and get 100 on it, and it'll go away to that 100 by the time the term ends. So I will count 6 of your first 8 and your last 2 quizzes for 16% of your grade. Dr. Apfel, if you've been here before, you may know who she is. She is in charge of helping people to get academic adjustments. This is how you might get time and a half or some form of extended time or other adjustment to how your class is run. As far as, generally it's about testing, but it can be for other things in the class as well. I can't just say, oh, I agree, you should have extra time. Here, take it. Dr. Apfel is the only person who can grant you those adjustments to your academic program. So, for those. Same old grading scheme, A's in the 90s, B's in the 80s, C's in the 70s, D's in the 60s, F's below that. If it ends in a 0, 1, or 2, you get a minus behind it. If it ends in a 7, 8, or 9, you get a plus behind it. There are no A pluses because our grade system peaks out at 4.0. We have important dates listed here on the syllabus that are all the class meetings, all the exams. We have no class, of course, on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Weird is a reading day on Thursday, December 3rd, right before finals start, and retake exams are by appointment on Friday, December 4th. It's on a Friday, but that would be when we do our retakes. Thursday, December 10th, we'll take our final exam. Class is comprised of, you're here on time to look at your lectures and see what's going on, then you enter and try the homeworks. You might smoothly sail right through the homework and never have to touch the homework video. But if you want to look at the homework video, it tries to take you through some of the high and low points of the homework and how to specifically get through homework problems, with examples where I do a different problem than you would do because the numbers are different. But it'll talk you through a lot of the specifics of getting through the homework with our homework videos. And then we have this list will show you where all the exams are. We're not going to have projects this semester. I do leave the projects listed there. That's when projects would have happened. But as an online course, the projects are much tougher to get through. So I've adjusted the scoring on quizzes, tests, and the final exam to adjust for that. You see how much time you're given for each exam and all that, and they'll all show up in Connect Math. You'll get a Connect Math sign-in sheet sometime soon as well. So that's how we're going to run things. You can send me email anytime. You can drop into the sessions online once the semester starts, and we can stay in touch that way. Hope it goes well. Thanks.